here we go.
There are stories about what happened.
It's true. All of it. The dark side. The Jedi. They're real.
Well, boys and girls, fellas and ladies, nerds and nerdettes, The Force Awakens is almost upon us. That means there is no better time to reach into a galaxy far, far away and take a look back at each flick in the Star Wars saga that has led us to this fever pitch of excitement. My name is Mike from the Super Wheeler Bros, and welcome to a look back at Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. As part retrospective and part review, we'll look at the film from all angles.
We'll handle this.
We'll take the long way.
The Phantom Menace suffers from the backlash of simply being overhyped. Yes, it still has its flaws, like these.
Yippee! Yippee!
And this one.
Almost got us killed. Are you brainless?
I speak?
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent. Now get out of here.
No, Mrs. Stay. Mr. Kojata Binks.
But it also has these three walking, talking pillars of badassery. In all seriousness though, we both understand and agree that Jar Jar Binks was a huge miscalculation. Though he was an amazing technological feat for being the first true fully realized CG character in a film. And while the portrayal and execution couldn't have gotten much more irritating, the visuals of the character were spectacular. He certainly was more convincing than Obi-Wan's hairpiece. Jar Jar and the Gungans did provide some slight, if juvenile, comic relief from the doldrums of the politicking that begins here, and only becomes more prominent as the trilogy moves forward. Yes, Jar Jar pretty much sucks. But come on guys, he doesn't tank the movie. The other major point of contempt most fans seem to harbor for the sci-fi opus is the performance of young Jake Lloyd as Anakin Skywalker, who eventually becomes the greatest screen villain of all time, Darth Vader, in his time before the helmet, breathing apparatus, and his voice changing into that of a large black man. In that endeavor, both Lloyd and future Anakin, Hayden Christensen, were destined to fail. Lloyd's performance simply isn't as damningly bad as I remembered for sure, and as most fans make it out to be. It's a child performance. And while those grating yippies and woos are still there, I for one, looking back with time as some perspective, couldn't have expected much more from the young actor. I've always found the otherwise fantastic Natalie Portman's bland performances, and the excruciating dialogue the prequel trilogy's main detractions. With all that said, there is so much to love about this movie. The beginnings of Palpatine masterfully manipulating all those around him to increase his power in the Senate. The spectacular and still exhilarating pod race. The Gungan battle with the droid army intercut with perhaps the greatest lightsaber battle to date in the saga between the ever-reliable Ewan McGregor as future legendary Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi, the venerable Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn, and the devilishly good Darth Maul played by Ray Park. In fact, it's losing both Qui-Gon and Maul that turns out to be this movie's biggest bummers, if you ask me. John Williams has never been better as the maestro, and his masterful theme, Duel of the Fates, raises the tension during that saber battle to astronomical levels. The film has its faults, sure, as does each film in the Star Wars saga. George Lucas can be criticized for a great many things, but he is a master visual storyteller, and I choose to look back fondly on this film from the divisive director. Viewing The Phantom Menace made me feel like the kid who couldn't wait to see this movie again and again in 1999, And that's all I can really ask for from a movie. If I must score this movie, it is still a solid 7 out of 10 for me. Thanks for joining me for a look back at Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to drop us a like, or even subscribe if you're feeling very generous. This is Mike from the Super Wheeler Bros. We'll see you next time for a look back at Star Wars Episode 2: Attack of the Clones. Have a super week, everybody.
Just let it in.